Okay, so today was very interesting because all day I was on a website and I was downloading free music and I found this song. It's called Unemotions. It's by Good Charlotte. So I downloaded that song and I was listening to that song. And if you have never heard it before, it's about a son and he's, saying to his dad, you weren't there for me, and whatever. It's a good song. If you've never heard of it, look it up. It's on Emotions by Good Charlotte. Sorry, I'm a little tired. Well, I was listening to that song, and then I was going through my phone, and I was like, you know what? I want to get a hold of my dad. So, I let me tell you really quick. I haven't seen my dad since he lived here with me. Um, I don't know. It was around February, March of 2009. Okay, and we are already, that's about a year ago. Um, so yeah, I wanted to call him and just be like, hey, where have you been? You know where I live. I guess my number's changed, so I can't, complain about you not calling me. But I called him to make sure it was still his number, and he was on the answer machine, so I was like, okay, cool. At least I still have his telephone number. Um, then I I sent him a text message, and the text message that I sent was, what was it? It was, Dad, you there? It's your firstborn kid. Do you remember me? I have a sister, and he's like spent her entire life with him. And I'm gonna estimate 3 years of my whole entire life I've actually spent with my father. And I'm 23 now, so there's 20 years that he missed out on, but anyways, so I called him. He called me right away, and we were talking and stuff, and it just gave me a good feeling that he actually cares. Because the way he was talking, he was like, "Where have you been? I've been wondering if you were ever gonna call me again." And so yeah, it was miscommunications on both of our parts. But then I got to talk to my sister today, and man, does time fly because I've watched her grow up. From different points in her life, like there was a point where she was 3 years old, and I got to hang out with her for about a few weeks when she was 3 years old, and then we jumped to 11. I got to hang out with her for a few weeks when she was 11, and then we jumped to 17. She's 17 now. She has a driver's license, um, which it makes me happy that my sister's doing good and she's happy with her life. And surprisingly, she's been with the same boyfriend for I don't know how long, but that's really cool too. So that was a very interesting day for me. I really enjoyed it, loved it. But on the other hand, um, I'm kind of pissed. I get mad. I get mad when I sit there and I think about, my dad being there for my sister for throughout her years, and he blames my mother for not letting me see him. And then my mom says, "Oh no, that's not true. Your dad's lying." Blah blah blah, whatever. So it's a he said, she said bullshit. Um, but regardless, if it was me, I would fight. I would fight to the death to see my firstborn child. And you know what? Here's an interesting story that you guys don't know. I do have a 7-year-old. She's gonna be 8, September 26, 2010. She'll be 8 years old. I haven't seen her since she was 5. And now, here's the thing. I do fight for her. I've called CPS, I've called the adoption agency, I've called everywhere trying to get visitations with my daughter, and it's not working because I'm getting the runaround, and I've been fighting for 3 years to see her, and I'm not, I think about her all the time. I got a picture up, it's hard though because that's different. That's a different situation. My dad had nothing stopping him except for my mother, and geez, come on now. Um, and I have the law stopping me. So there's a big difference. Now, let me tell you, because I'm pretty sure this is on your mind right now, why was my daughter um, adopted out? Well, I was 14 years old, and I wanted to keep her, but the state took her from me. I was also in a group home, so the state took her from me, saying that I needed to focus on my life. Um, so instead of doing that, I went out and got a job and showed them how responsible I could be with a daughter. And I stayed in the group home and I followed their rules. I got a job and I had a savings account. All my money went into the savings account. And, I still bought her toys and stuff and had my visitations, had my overnights. But at the end of it, they said it wasn't enough. Just wasn't enough. So I felt like I took, even though it was a good experience for me, it was a learning experience for me, I feel that I took that responsibility to the height of it and felt like I didn't get anything out of it. I didn't get my daughter out of it. I didn't get you're any positive, anything positive from that. And I think that kind of affects what's going on now. I'm not very motivated to get a job because I think, well, I got a job when I was 14 and I fought my butt off for something I was really passionate about and it just did not work out. And people keep telling me I can't do stuff when I was, younger. So I kind of take that and I'm like, well, that kind of makes the rest of my life very unmotivated. Um, Something else I want to talk about in this vlog, and now that I'm getting all over the place, but yeah, my sister, my dad, and then I called my mom, and I was like, hey, guess what? The reason why I call my mom, well, they don't get along. They hate each other. They're like a cougar and a rabbit. They don't want nothing to do with each other. Well, the cougar, whatever. You know what I mean. But, I called her and I was like, hey, my dad, I just talked to my dad. And she was like, well, that's good. Don't let him say anything bad about me. I'm just like, oh my God. After all this time, whatever. I'm not even going to listen to you. But my brother's father, we have different dads, and my brother's dad isn't getting his VA money anymore, so my mom thinks he's dead. Now, if he's dead, I don't care, because that man was a perverted, old, nasty motherfucker, and nobody knows that story. I'm gonna keep it to myself. I think I'm gonna take that to my grave. But anyways, yeah. So my brother is all freaked out that his dad's dead, and I'm glad that I got to talk to my dad. But I mean, I would care for my brother's sake if he did pass away, because my brother doesn't know what I know, and either does anybody else, because I've never said anything about what I know. But I'd be very supportive to him if that were to happen. Other than that, I was up last night. I was up until like 2 in the morning thinking, how am I going to get to Florida? I have panic attacks really bad. So, how am I going to get on a plane, take off, go to Florida without freaking out? I mean, you always have that thought in the back of your mind, is this the last flight I'll ever take in my life? Because it's going to crash and we're going to die. No. But I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can get on a plane. I don't think I can go to Florida. I seriously don't think that's going to be possible for me. But we will see. My mom says, oh, just take some, muscle relaxers. You'll be fine. I'm taking a 4-year-old on a plane with me who's never flown. I can't do that. I have to be mentally there for her. I have to be emotionally there for her. I have to be strong for her. So I think I'm going to go to therapy and try to get over whatever's making me have these panic attacks so that I can go and I can get on that plane and I could fly and everything will be fine and maybe I could stop having panic attacks altogether, because that would be awesome. Then I wouldn't have to take a pill every day of my life. Other than that, I'm almost exceeded to my 10 minutes. So at that, I'm going to say goodbye and leave your comments, and I hope you guys have a great night. Oh, by the way, I watched Shay Carl's new video. His son did. Very cute. I think that's just so adorable. But anyways, have a good night, everybody. Bye.